Well, hello.
Hello,
I'm Carmen Isabella.
and I'm Ajahn Jimmy.
All right. Well, I'm really happy to have this time with you today. And I want to jump right in because before you said if you were to do any kind of video, you would like to do a video titled, I wish I had known this before I first meditated. Would you like to say something on that?
I think if I were to tell myself one thing, it's all about having the right view, having the right understanding of not only what meditation is, but what happens in the meditation and your relationship with it. What am I supposed to do? What am I not supposed to do? And being able to tell and recognize what's happening, what's going on in a way that allows you to adapt correctly. All these are under, I think, one topic. It's called the right understanding. So it's not, so therefore, it seems easy, like one word, but you need to study it to understand it like that. So that's my answer.
That's true. Actually, when I practiced today and I thought we might have make a video on this, I brought my mind back to myself, which I call to bring my mind home. I asked myself, okay, how do I meditate myself so that I can explain it better? And I noticed that that is the way I practice. I bring my mind back to myself and then I see what is it that happens in accordance to what I have learned, to what happens in meditation. So before I get too much into this and we don't have a foundation yet, how about you start explaining a little bit about what is meditation and what happens during meditation?
If I were to surmise what meditation really is, it's about entering and being a part of a system, a automatic system that you already have inside. And to illustrate this, it's like asking people, how do I, recover from illness, from being sick? And people would say like, oh, eat a lot, drink, sleep. They are describing what the actions that they're doing. But if you take a step back and see what they're actually doing, they are bringing themselves in a system to be a part of a.
I think what you might want to refer to is, or what you're referring to, sorry, is that the body has an automatic system already and they are providing the right input for that system. Is that where you want
Yes.
to go?
Yes. So that action of going to sleep, eating a lot, come from the knowledge that our body can heal itself. There's immune systems and there's so many systems inside our body.
The metabolism
Yeah.
that can balance
Yeah.
itself.
All of this, we all have it and it's working normally. Now, if we want to make it work even better, then we have to find the right energy source, right? Nutritious food, plenty of rest, and then we just adapt and abide by that system. We don't work against it, we work with it.
Yes, we work in accordance to the system of the body, which is why people who become doctors, they study that system to help to educate people about how to live in accordance with the correct system inside the body, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So therefore, when we ask what's meditation, it is the conduct to work together with the system that you already have, but not the physical system, but the mental system, the system of our mind.
The
So
system of our mind.
yeah, and that is what meditation is, to work with that.
Okay, so to recap this really quickly, the body has its own working system already. It's a working organism. And it really matters the input that we put in, so how we work in accordance with the system that's already there. So when we sleep enough, we drink enough, we eat healthily, then we work in accordance with the system of the body, the outcome will be good.
And I think that what we're talking about right now is a little bit vague, because if we were to listen to what we just answered, they still don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Right? So let's make it clear right now. What we are doing here, and our job is to bring about the good energy that our system needs, right? When we go to bed, when we eat, we are doing so to bring that energy for the already existing system to run.
Yes.
So meditation is the act of doing that.
Yes.
So therefore, this conversation naturally leads to what are we supposed to do to create that energy that our mind and its automatic healing system needs to do their job for us.
Yes,
Right.
that's very well summarized.
So the answer lies in the Buddhist scripture. More than 2,500 years ago, the Buddha taught the noble monks how to meditate. And what he taught is that he recognizes the meditation practices or method that exists at the time, but what he taught isn't how to meditate or how to use those methods. Instead, he pointed to the principle. The principle that every method uses as its core. Even nowadays, using your mantra, using your breath, or all the plethora of different methods, if you were to surmise it, it brings you to the Buddha's teaching. So let's go over that a little bit, and then maybe you can expand more on what that is.
Yeah.
So the Buddha taught the noble monks, may you intend to know clearly. In your body, feelings, thoughts, and emotion, for the purpose to eradicate the desires and the aversions of the world. I'm sure you have heard it thousands of times before. So I want to know, like throughout the years, how do you understand these teachings of the Buddha?
The word that you use now, the intent, it speaks of intention. He says you have to have the intention to know. An example for this is I have the intention to know the crown of my head. Once I intend that, so the act of telling my mind I want to know the crown of my head, my mind will go here and I'll be able to perceive that area. When I have the intention, the mind goes to that place, awareness arises so we can perceive. That is what happens. The clearly comes in when I stay there for longer. So when I have already brought my attention here, now I continue to observe. I notice the details. I notice the slight pain that I have towards my forehead and other sensations. That is what clearly means. So once we have the intention to know in the first place, and we are clear about that intention, we really want to know the crown of our head, we stay there, we observe, then we get to know the details of it. The sensations become clear to us. Now, the question that comes here, of course, is why do we want awareness in the first place? What is the benefit of that? Would you like to answer that?
So moments ago, we just talked about meditation being something that can bring about energy. And that's how we got here. So let's connect those two parts together then. What happens when we are in awareness and why that we have to be aware? So through meditation and enlightenment, the Lord Buddha found that our mind is like a power generator. And when awareness is in the mind, it signals to the mind, so to speak, to generate that good energy. That good energy that comes in is the energy needed by the mind's automatic cleaning system to clear out the pollution, the toxin, the illnesses, diseases that is wreaking havoc on the inside. And that is what I meant when meditation is working together with our automatic system, where we already have the system in ourselves, but how can we utilize it? And what is our role and responsibility inside of it? So hopefully this comes full circle now, understanding our role and responsibility when we are sick and how our body does the bulk of the work while we just to feed it the good energy through eating to sleeping. The mind is just like that. But unlike the body that needs external energy sources, the mind can create its own energy, but it's conditioned on the awareness that in the mind that generate that good energy.
Yes. So to summarize this, the purpose of intending to know clearly is just to bring up the state of awareness and then to maintain it in the mind. And the second part that we are going to get to now of the principle of the Buddha is what we use to help us maintain, what we use to anchor. And that is, like, as you said, body, feeling, thoughts, and emotions, or if we simplify it, the body and the mind. We use that as our anchor, as our signal, because like I said just before, we have to have the intention to know something. And the Buddha already said what? Either body or mind. When we don't do that, then we miss the opportunity for our mind to bring about good energy, which runs the automatic healing system, the development system, even not just healing, but also improvement system of our mind, making our mind clearer and sharper. We miss the opportunity when we don't intend. And here I just want to make that small point that if I don't have the intention to know of myself, to know of the crown of my head, then I still have a crown of my head, but I'm not perceiving those nerval endings. Only with the intention to know does my mind come here and the state of awareness come about, and only then does the bright, clear state of awareness arise, and it maintains there as long as we still know clearly that our mind is here. Someone asked us, like we used to do when I first started studying, you would ask me, what are you knowing? That was our game back then. Because when you know clearly, you know where your awareness is. You know what you're knowing. I think that's all I have on the first part of the principle. Do you have anything more on that?
I think that covers it. And I think what comes immediately is our main focus in this conversation is about energy. Energy is the hero. And for this energy to come about, it can come in many ways, but the Buddha taught that the easiest way is to be mindful. Now, energy's responsibility is to run, power a system. The system does what they are supposed to do. Now, what if the cleaning process is not done yet and the energy stops being fed? Then you'll never be healed, right?
When you don't give your body the time it needs to rest and heal, then it cannot recover from sickness.
Correct.
We call that to carry around a sickness with you. So you carry a cold that could have only lasted for 2 weeks if you would have rested.
Correct.
You carry it on and on for weeks and months.
Correct. That's why we have to give it time. Time is an important condition to finish the entire process. That's why we need help. That's why we need help, not only to help our mind maintain that awareness through an object, but an object that is suitable for us to hold it as long as possible, because that helps the mind generate until it finishes the activity. So let's talk about object.
That's a really nice way of getting into it.
Let's talk about object for a moment. And because the other word for object is method, right? And I'm sure people at home who is new to meditation or is a veteran have tried thousands of methods, have heard of thousands of methods and said, which one's the right one? Which one is good? Which one is quick? Which one is powerful? Well, I'm here to set the record straight. The quickest, most powerful method here is the one that you can do comfortably all the time. That is the definite answer. Why? Because the one that does the healing is the system. And the system needs energy. And the energy is produced by the awareness in the mind, and only when it's in the mind. So therefore, if our method help us be aware easily, comfortably, and then for a prolonged period of time where we want to always do it, that is the best method. Because all method or object is just a guardrail. Like a what do you call this thing? A life vest to keep the awareness above the water, to hang on to it, right? Without the guardrail, you'll drown into what? Into sleepiness, into thought, into emotion. You just need that life vest. That's the role of objects.
Because what brings about the results that we want in meditation is not us, but the system. And
Correct.
the system needs the awareness.
Correct. Because awareness in our mind prompt the mind to produce energy that runs that system.
Exactly.
Yeah. This is how to be clear. How to be clear that you are not alone. You're working with your awesome team, your system that you have. Work with it.
And this is a really good point to go on to the third part, because for the third part of the principle, we need to understand this is what the system is doing, and this is what we're doing, what our role is. Like you said in the beginning, this is where right view comes in. It says, for the purpose to eradicate all desire and aversion. Now, you have also already mentioned that there's this pollution in the mind, right? When we sit down and we actually try to know our breath, for example, we realize that we are able to stay there for maybe a second, maybe two, maybe three, but then our mind is already lost again. Lost with the thought, lost with in that movie, lost in the sleepiness, blurriness, so many different kind of hindrances, or what we call overall arching mental pollutants. Now, our role and responsibility is not to fight them. And this is the most common mistake that definitely everyone, including myself, have made when we start meditating, that we think we have to be the ones cleaning our mind. We have to be the ones who put everything in order and nicely line up our thoughts, when really we are neither able to do that nor should we do that. We are really only the ones who bring our mind back again. So the moment we realize, oh, wait, I was meditating, right? And we remember what activity we were in, we refresh our intention. We remind ourselves, oh, it was my intention to know my breath, so that the bright, clear state of awareness maintains in my mind. I'm here to protect that awareness. That's all we do. So even if we have to bring it back 1,000 times in a short period of time, that we are fulfilling our purpose. Every moment, every time we bring it back, even if it doesn't stay for a long time, that good energy is produced. And here's now the role of the system. They're the ones who clear away the pollutants. So actually, when you don't try and go and fight with the upcoming thoughts and the blurriness and everything, but you just focus on your only thing to do, your only role, which is to bring the mind back and to observe as long as you comfortably can. That was such a great keyword you said when you talked about the objects, the one that you can know comfortably all the time, that is the right one for you. That is the only thing, the one you can know comfortably for as long as you can observe before your mind wanders off again. And the system will use that energy to slowly decrease it. So we actually, even though we don't do anything else but to bring our mind back to the breath, we feel less stressed, we feel less blurry, we feel less sleepiness. All those chaos and confusion with the thoughts get cleaned away. Even though we didn't actively clean anything, we don't know where the pollutants are in our mind. That is not our role. And desire and aversion happens the moment when we get confused about our roles. We start to want to fight with them. We want to clear them out right now. Or we start to have aversion towards pollution being there in the first place. Like, why is it not quiet yet? Why is it not sabai yet? I want the good experience. I want the brightness and all of this. When really that is not our job. We need to stay neutral, right? Neutral meaning that sometimes good experiences will come and sometimes bad experiences will come, meaning we will face pollution. that is there in our mind, because pollution does what it is there to do. It disturbs, it hinders, it hides. And I love the example of being on a train and there are just like things passing by. Some landscapes are nicer, some landscapes are not so nice. And you're just aware, okay, of right now it's easier, right now it's harder. But none of it is my job. While the system keeps running in the background, the train is going, we're going into the right direction as long as the state of awareness maintains in our mind. Now, this was a bit of a long monologue, but do you have anything that you would like to add on to this?
That's a good summary that you just have done, and I think it will be beneficial for the viewer to know what's the mindset. Now we know what to do, but the question of how should we do it is also important too. My teacher put it greatly. He said, meditation is like going to a hospital. Hospital is a system that heals you. And as a patient, we are sick. Why do you have to go to a hospital? Because that's where the experts are. The doctors, the great doctors and nurses who have all the knowledge, all the capabilities, they're over there. So we have to approach it. But for our mind, we have it installed inside of us. And so he asked me, when you go to a doctor, how do you act? I said, well, I just go there and they welcome me. They sat me down. And to be honest, for the entire time I'm there, I haven't need to do anything. And then when I meet the doctor, I just lay there. And then what happened? The doctor shake up on me, turn me over a little bit, look here and there. If there's a procedure, they does the procedure on me. I just have to take a break, rest, be in myself, be in my object. And as I do so, the system cleans and clear everything out. I just need to take a break. But imagine a different type of patient. They go marching into the hospital. They demand service, need to heal them. And when they talk to a doctor, they now tells the doctor what they need to do, right? You do it this and this and this now and now. If you were to compare that patient with the patient who's followed the system for the process, which one do you think will get a better care and will come out of it healed? The one that followed the system all comfortably, of course. We all have personal hospital inside of us. It's just that sometimes our mind is very polluted. Think about it. Every day, right? Every day we shower, hopefully. When we go outside, we sweat, there's dirt, there's grime, and the addition of the pollution make us feel uncomfortable in the body. So when we come back, we shower, we purify the body. Shower doesn't mean just to put water on you, but to use the cleaning agent to wash away the pollution to get that cleanliness, that purity. That's when the heaviness, the scuffiness all are taken away and the pleasant feeling comes up. We wash our body every day. We wash our clothes too, not with water, but with detergent. We need to purify it, clean, right? That's called purity. But what about our mind? Our mind, we rarely do clean, right? Maybe it's already 3 decades, 5 decades, 6 decades already, and we haven't cleaned it yet. So therefore, when you go in there, what do you expect? You have to have a right expectation. Or even when you are a regular meditator, but maybe that day is a big day for you. So you have to have the right understanding that, hey, now the pollution will be there. When you go meet it, it's not going to be nice. But you also have the most complete and powerful doctor inside of you, complete as a package in your mind already. So trust it. Sit there comfortably. Be with your object. The pollution inside, their job is to survive. That's why when you first start off, and this leads us to a great thing that we need to know, what is the roadmap of meditation? We never knew the roadmap before. In the very beginning, we might practice a lot or we might never practice before, but what if there is a ton of pollution in our mind? It's going to feel unpleasant, uncomfortable because it's suffering. You're going to concentrate. So if you realize that you're here right now, your goal is not to hold your concentration. Your goal is just to come back. Because that split second when you come back to be aware, that's when the mind produces energy and that's where cleaning happens. But then of course the pollution will flick your attention away and that's no problem. This is what they have to do. They have the power inside of you, but bring it back. Every time you bring it back, shave off, shave off, shave off, until you feel like, I can't concentrate yet, but it's not as bad anymore. And that's why you find that the reduction in the pollution means the reduction in the chaos, confusion, and suffering. If you want to go further, and there is something better, then you keep on being in a system. Don't leave the hospital yet, keep on being in a system. Now you're naturally able to hold your attention a bit longer. 5 seconds, 10 seconds is okay. Every moment counts. It's shave it off, shave it off. The reason you cannot hold your attention is because the pollution makes you forget. This is a symptom of a polluted mind. Thinking, wandering, sleeping is a symptom of a polluted mind. And we have to be honest, our mind is indeed polluted, but it's also being clean too. Like Carmen said, we must not carry our illness, must bring in the energy until the cleaning system complete the entire process to bring us to the other side called healthiness. That might take time. But are we willing to give time or not? This is what we can decide. Are we willing to give time or not? And only when the pollution are substantially cleaned out and there's not a lot of disturbances anymore, only then can you start to talk about concentration. Think about it. If you have 2 kids running around screaming, I don't think anyone can read a book in peace. They cannot concentrate. So therefore, have to keep going at it until the environment inside is quiet. Then that's where you can then think about concentration. So this is where concentration actually begins. Not in the very beginning. So therefore, concern yourself more about bringing it back until it doesn't go away anymore. Then, okay, how long can you concentrate? Does it make sense? So this should paint us a realistic understanding of where we are, what we need to do, the different component and element working together, our role and responsibility, and how it should be. Do you have anything to add or to comment on this, Carmen?
I think just the summary of our video today. So with me today is Ajahn Jimmy, and we talked about meditation and mindfulness, focusing on the practice of meditation, where we went into how meditation in general is working in accordance with the automatic healing system that the mind already has. And then we went on to the principle of the Buddha, where he taught exactly what we have to watch out here for so that we can work in accordance with it and tend to know clearly in body and mind, and the way how to eradicate all desire and aversion with no desire and aversion, with neutrality. And I think that was the main thing that you just brought, like a lot of understanding of how it's supposed to feel and how it's not supposed to feel, the kind of attitude we should have and the kind of attitude we shouldn't have. And then as a little cherry on top, you added the roadmap of meditation. So letting everyone know that facing a lot of discomfort, a lot of chaos and confusion, and feeling unable to sit longer than 5 minutes is normal, because for how long have we been accumulating pollution and never having cleaned it? So that one is the roadmap, the overview. It takes time, the proportion of pollution to go down so that we can even perceive some level of cleanliness. And so this was a nice wrap up on foundation of meditation. And thank you so much for joining me today on my channel. It was a lovely conversation, and I hope you had a very good time too. And I rejoice in your merits.
Too happy to be here. Bye bye, everyone. Take care. Bye
Bye bye.